worn out. But during the training, you did make use of humor, and so I'm all about the value and benefits to both mental and physical health of humor. That's one of the reasons I want to share that on the webpage. There's been a lot of studies about that, but I just wonder. Even though I was sharing the campaign and we're not really talking about specifics and nobody's I don't need to intervene with anybody, but it definitely at that moment wasn't appropriate to maybe crack some jokes. I just wondering, what do you use kind of guidelines or your personal sensitivities to when it might or might not be appropriate?
Well, yes, there is a sense in which you have to have a certain level of awareness, right? But I do think there is a place for humor when it is appropriate. I'll give you an example. I had a veteran several years ago. He was a Marine, and we had got him de-escalated the first time. He was homeless, and we got him into some shelter in another state. It was going to be really cold one night. And a mutual friend had put me in contact with him. I did not know the Marine until this friend had intervened and asked me to call. And so I got him de-escalated the first time. He's got a tough story. He was at the gates at Beirut when it was hit with the bomb. In '83, I believe. So he's been homeless and spiraling with the drug addiction and things of that nature ever since. But we got him into a homeless shelter one night because we were concerned it was going to be freezing out in the state where he was at, way up in the Rockies. And so I called him back the next day to check on it. And he said, well, my Martin guitar got stolen. Shoot. Oh, man, I hate that my son has a Martin guitar. Those are nice guitars. And I said, I hate to hear that. He said, that's okay. I've got a 45 cent beer. Okay, what does that mean? And he's 1,200 miles away, 1,500 miles away. I can't jump in the car and be there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, I know what you want to do. You want to call the state troopers and get them to do a health and welfare check. And if you do that, I'll just let them kill me. He had put me in a very precarious position. There's no place for humor in that. It's right. It's not time to crack a joke. But I'm listening to him. I said, you don't want to do that. And a lot of people say you don't interject yourself into the equation when you're trying to save somebody. But I didn't feel like I had a choice. I'm like, don't do that. It would affect me for the rest of my life. Because he made a statement, nobody cares if I live or die. And I said, I care. You don't need to know me. It would affect me for the rest of my life if you kill your Saddam. And he continued to go on about how his life is not worth living. And I finally got kind of salty with him. And I said, Marine, listen to me. If you kill yourself, I swear I will never talk to you again in my life. And he laughed. And he said, you are one strange chaplain. And I said, yeah, I may be, but you're laughing. He said, what's that got to do with anything? I said, you're laughing. That right there tells me there's some life left in you. It's on the refrigerator door. My wife bought a magnet. It says, live, laugh, love. If you can laugh, that means there's still some life in you. And you just need to laugh and work it out.
Yeah.
That's several years ago. He's still alive today. Does he still struggle? Yeah. He's homeless most of the time. He still has a drug problem. That's the other thing. We have to be aware. We can't fix everybody. I know that may be a Southern slang word, but I can't solve everybody's problems. But we can keep them alive, and we can help them to see that, I can live through this problem. I didn't think I could, but I can. And when we learn how to adapt and we get used to a new normal and we continue to live, because deep down in our heart, we don't really want to die. We just want some grain of hope that we can be sustained by.
Yes.
And so that he's still alive today. He still struggles. but he's still alive. And so that's a very, very good thing.